Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why your favorite hoodie stretches in one direction and holds firms in another? It's not magic, it's science, and it all comes together with wales and courses.
So, here's a question. Have you ever noticed those tiny loops running vertically in your knitted fabrics? They're called wales. Think of them as the tall skyscrapers standing in neat rows, holding everything up. Now, what about the loops running horizontally? Those are courses, the little roads that weave between the skyscrapers and keep the structure in place. Let's talk about gauge, because this is where the magic of knitted fabric starts to make sense. On a circular knitting machine, gauge refers to the number of needles per inch on the needle bed. The higher the gauge, the more needles are packed into that inch, which means the machine can knit finer, more tightly spaced loops. And here's where it gets interesting. The number of needles directly influences how many wales you get per inch in the fabric. Think of it this way. More needles mean more wales. Loops can be squeezed in, provided you're using fine yarn and the tension is just right. But don't forget the courses, the horizontal rows. These depend on how fast the machine feeds the yarn and how tightly the loops are knitted. So, while the gauge sets the potential for a denser fabric, the yarn thickness and tension control the final result. In short, a higher gauge machine can create fabric with more wales and finer detail. A lower gauge machine makes chunkier, looser knits, but still gets the job done when you need something cozy and thick. It's all about balance. And getting it right can mean the difference between a luxury t-shirt and something that feels like a dishcloth. The higher the gauge, the finer the fabric. The lower the gauge, the chunkier. It's like pizza, thin crust or deep dish. And knowing this can save you from creating a sweater that looks like a chainmail suit. So, what kinds of knitted fabrics are out there? Let me break it down for you. Knits fall into three main categories. 1. Weft, knitted fabrics. 2. Warp, knitted fabrics. 3. Flat knitted fabrics. Here's where it gets interesting. Weft, knitted fabrics. Quick question. Have you ever noticed that some t-shirts are made from fabric that feels like it came straight out of a fabric tube? That's because weft knits are knitted horizontally and come off the machine looking like one long spiral. These are also called circular knits because, well, they're knit in circles. Now, here's a fun one. Within weft knits, you've got two big subcategories, single knits and double knits. Single knits. These are your lightweight, breathable fabrics, perfect for staying comfy. You've probably worn single jersey, PK, or French terry when lounging around. Double knits. Think of these as the winter warriors. They're thicker and hold a little layer of warm air close to your body. That's why interlock, rib, fleece, and velour are your go-to fabrics for cozy sweatshirts and sleepwear. Warp knitted fabrics. Now, let's talk about warp knits. Unlike weft knits, these are knitted vertically, making them stable and strong. Kind of like the overachievers of the knit world. They don't have much stretch, but they're built to last. Ever seen tricot, mesh, or lace? Yep, all warp knitted fabrics. And get this, warp knits are so versatile. They're used for everything from sportswear to billboard fabric to the lining in your favorite sneakers. That's right. Warp knits might be holding up a superstar's kicks while you're here wondering if your socks match. Flat knitted fabrics. Now, here's where things get flat, literally. Unlike weft and warp knits, flat knits aren't made in tubes or spirals. Instead, the knitting is done in rows, creating flat pieces of fabric that look like puzzle pieces waiting to be stitched together. Ever noticed how your polo shirt's collar doesn't stretch out of shape? Or how the cuffs on your jacket hold their form? That's flat knitting doing its job. Flat knits are ideal for shape retention, which is why they're used for things like collars, cuffs, and yes, even entire sweaters. The best part? Because they're knitted in rows, flat knits can be programmed to create complex shapes directly on the knitting machine, meaning less fabric waste and a more tailored fit. In short, flat knits don't mess around. When you need precision and structure, think cardigans, preppy polos, and fitted hems, flat knits are your go-to. It's like having a fabric that already knows where to stop and hold its ground. And there you have it, the world of knits, unraveled. Whether it's the comfy stretch of a weft knit, the strength and versatility of a warp knit, or the structure and precision of a flat knit, You're now armed with the knowledge to choose the right knit for the job.
So the next time you'll pick up the fabric, you will know exactly what's holding it together and why it matters. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more bite-sized knowledge bombs. Remember, whether you're making a casual tee or a tailored sweater, knowing your knits means no surprises, just great garments.